Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at nationalist movements in Africa and the Middle East. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. Feel free to use it. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. Okay, let's go. Picture it, the early 1900s, and Europe is on a mission to improve the world. They bring advanced farming methods to Africa, but it's mostly an improvement for the Europeans. They keep the best land for themselves, give African farmers a nudge to focus on cash crops over food, and toss in a bit of tax collecting for good measure. Oh, and did we mention the mining work? Enjoy your new life, they probably said. It comes with a side of manual labor and taxes. Meanwhile, African voices grew louder against imperial rule. But instead of listening, colonial rulers clamped down harder. In South Africa, they really outdid themselves with apartheid, a system that stripped Black Africans of their rights. Voting rights? Gone. Freedom? Not so much. Then, in the 1920s, the Pan-Africanism movement stirred up calls for unity among Africans and people of African descent. At the first Pan-African Congress, delegates politely asked the Paris Peace Conference to throw them a bone with a rights charter for Africans. Naturally, world leaders hit the ignore button. Across the globe in Asia Minor, Mustafa Kemal had a different strategy. He booted out the Ottoman Sultan and started a brand new country, Turkey. He went full-on Western, even renaming himself Ataturk, the father of the Turks, and diving headfirst into building factories and railroads. Over in Persia, Reza Khan got the memo and overthrew the Shah, aiming to modernize Persia with factories, railroads, and a tough stance on oil profits with the British. Then there's the Pan-Arabism movement, bonding Arabs from North Africa to the Arabian Peninsula over shared history and dreams of freedom. They figured after helping in World War I, they'd get a handshake and independence. Instead, they got mandates, as the Allies split up Ottoman territories like a pie at Thanksgiving, with France and Britain helping themselves to slices. In Palestine, things were heating up as the British made conflicting promises, one to the Arabs for independence and another to support a national home for Jewish people. The Balfour Declaration only added fuel to the fire, with both Arabs and Jews believing they had rightful claims to the land. Okay, let's do the recap. In the early 1900s, Europe was busy improving Africa, mainly for its own benefit. They seized the best lands, nudged African farmers into cash crops over food, and even threw in a tax system just to keep things interesting. As criticism of imperial rule grew, Europeans doubled down, implementing harsh policies like apartheid in South Africa. Around the 1920s, Pan-Africanism pushed for unity and rights, but European leaders weren't exactly listening. Elsewhere, leaders like Turkey's Ataturk and Persia's Reza Khan were on modernization sprees, building railroads and factories while tossing out old traditions. In the Arab world, hopes for independence fizzled when post-WWI treaties handed territories to the Allies, sparking tension in Palestine over British promises to Arabs and Jews alike. There you have it, folks. That is nationalist movements in Africa and the Middle East, nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Don't forget to go super nuts on those like and subscribe buttons for me. Say hi in the comments down below. See y'all next time on Nutshelled History.